What could you create if you had 30 minutes to plan and 4 hours to build? Today on the show, we challenge 3 teams of 2 developers each to use Nordcraft to build a website that has absolutely no business value, but you can't stop using it anyways.
Do you have any concerns about these plans given the time constraints?
Oh yeah, loads.
It's going to be art. What I create here is going to be art.
This is the new frontiers of web development.
6 minutes. We don't even need it. We don't even need it.
Stop faffing, we got 5 minutes.
Welcome to the Web Dev Challenge. Welcome in, everyone. Today, we're gonna be doing something that I'm so thrilled about. We're gonna be building a website that has absolutely no business value, and we're gonna let you hold the interpretation of whether you're gonna be good or evil about this. We're gonna be working with Nordcraft today, and to tell us a little bit about what Nordcraft is, let's bring up Andreas.
Hi, my name is Andreas, and I'm one of the 2 co-founders of Nordcraft. So Nordcraft is what we call a web development engine. And the way we sort of think about it is that if people are building video games, we've had these video game engines for like a couple of decades now, and it's a combination of like framework and tooling and everything you need to build like a great game. And we want to have that same level of tooling for the web. Nordcraft essentially, it's a front-end framework and meta framework. It's got its own built-in version control system, its own deployment platform, and a whole set of visual tools that helps you build really sort of next level, engaging and very interactive web applications. We're very excited to see what you're going to come up with and how you're going to address this challenge.
Thank you, Andreas. All right, with that, we are gonna move into the planning phase. You've got 30 minutes, and that 30 minutes starts right now.
Awesome. All right. And so you can hang out with your friends, but if your friends leave, then you immediately die.
So on click, increment.
Yeah, and then we'll always...
And then maybe store the answer choice.
Thank you for joining us on the website. Here you'll find everything you need to know to make amazing food.
Yeah.
But first, let me give you a tour of the website. You should have a tour of the website. You should overlay an onboarding for the website. And people, you have to go through it. You have to click through it, or it stays on as an overlay. And then once you get through it, then everything else starts kicking in place. But first, the onboarding.
My name is Salma Alamnaila.
I'm Daniel Rowe.
It is the ultimate recipe website called quickrecipes.co, and you want a recipe really quickly, go to quickrecipes.co, it loads you a random recipe automatically tailored to you, and then you can get the recipe.
That is actually a bit misleading because you won't get the recipe. You will never get the recipe. It will always be held just a little bit out of reach. We're using Nuxt and Nitro to fetch the recipes from an API, and we're deploying it to fly.io, which I have already set up with a custom domain name, which I have bought. I feel already that means we should be winning.
I'm not 100% sure I understand it. I assume there will be a website, and I'm excited to see what is on it.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting. Every time I walk past, I don't feel I get much closer to really understand what's going on. So I'm really excited about the end result and see how it shapes out.
Maybe we should sync
like adjust the prompt to get weirder and weirder.
Exactly.
So essentially, like as the questions go on, as become more frivolous, more
and more personal,
more silly, more just some make up some.
You sleep on the right side of the bed.
yeah, and that way, yeah.
My name is Ludo.
I'm Parker Landon.
Today we're building a personality test. We're going to be telling them what web dev framework suits them the most, or they are.
In terms of the front end, the client that the user is going to be seeing, we're going to be building all of that in Nordcraft. And then in the back end, we're using some AI technology to generate the questions for our personality test. And so we're going to be hosting an AI model on Cloudflare Workers and using a Cloudflare Worker to communicate with that and generate some questions for this test.
Going and figuring out what type of cartoon character you are or something is always a great way to kill a bunch of time without actually enriching your life at all. So I kind of feel like they nailed the brief.
Stop, let me call you.
I'm dialing already.
Mine's not being dialed. Okay, hold on. Shit. All right, time to debug.
Time to debug. Folks, it's debugging time.
It's planning time. We can't say that.
Yeah, sorry. Folks, it's time to plan.
I am Jacky.
I'm Henry.
So we made it a website. We're gonna make a website where if your friend also leaves the website, you both die. Yeah. So picture this. All right. It's a post-apocalyptic
Picture your
world.
dead friend. Sorry, no. Picture this.
There's only cursors left, and you're all huddling together for warmth, and you know the only way you can keep warm is by screaming into the void, and you can hear other people screaming as well because there's going to be audio connection between cursors. So the closer you are, the louder you can hear other people scream. I think honestly, like learning a new framework within 4 hours is going to be tough, but yeah, we have like some basic prototype that works somewhat, and so getting used to how like the Nordcraft way of doing things, definitely a different way of thinking about web development, so getting used to that probably, yeah.
Their concept is absolutely unhinged. I think the way they're bringing the tech together to do it is extremely clever, and I'm also just really curious how they're going to pull all that together in the amount of time that they have.
Can we build?
Can we build? Let's start the project. Let's start.
Are we allowed to build?
Just heads up.
Are you allowed to build?
Yes.
No.
No, 2 minutes of
So
sitting
what
there.
are they in
Building,
Nordcraft
planning.
for?
What?
Yes, you're
We're
in
planning.
Nordcraft.
We're learning about the functionality.
That's time, everybody! Immediately stop planning. No more ideas after this point. It's going to be interesting to see, you know, everybody's in a tool they've never used before. Everybody is bringing in some reasonably complex technology to plug into it in the back. Anytime you get into an integration for the first time, figuring out how things fit together is quite a bit of just guesswork, and you don't know how they're going to play together. You all have 4 hours to build your apps. Your 4 hours is going to start right now. Good luck, y'all.
Can I bind that to a variable?
So you can bind that to a variable. You can also, if it's conditional.
Yeah.
So if there's a limited set of options, it can sometimes be easier to add a class.
Oh, it's classes. It's classes all over again, isn't it? Oh, it turns out.
We're back.
Turns out.
Twist. Because the class only applies, like the styling you set for that class only applies to this element.
Okay.
So you can say like, hey, if I'm like something, blah, blah, and then you can set like condition for whether that class gets set.
CSS wins again.
CSS is awesome.
Maybe we should think that
Click this button though, hopefully when it succeeds. There you go, there's a question.
Hey.
Oh, it just changed.
Keeps going.
It's a work in progress. And also it keeps asking about coffee shops for some reason, so I'm not sure why that's occurring or why it's changing right now, but yeah, work in progress.
Oh, it's like catching every click. I think.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, that's probably what it is. That's a good call. I probably have a click handler on the div probably instead of the button itself. Let's see. Is that the? Yep, there it is.
Ah, there it is.
There you go. Debugging with Jason right there. So now if I.
This is what I'm here for.
Yeah, that's right.
I have served my purpose today.
There you go.
I'm going home. Look at that.
Yep.
Done early.
We're done here. Yep. Wrap that up.
We're not moving on slides yet. Fake progress bar.
I'm adding Unsplash.
Okay.
I want to give you some images.
Refresh.
I could be happy.
Beautiful.
Okay. It's like you can't do anything.
Did you pull?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
It said already up to date. Did you push?
That's a good question.
Talk a lot of shit to somebody who didn't even push, then.
Can I distract you for 1 moment?
That's factual. I did not push.
Let's go, dude.
Okay, I have cursors. I see cursors.
Do you have
see?
cursors?
Oh,
we got cursors. Let's go, dude.
How are we doing here? Team
Great.
Absolute Unit. How is the project going?
So we have random steps, random progress bars, random images, and digressions on every page of the slide of the recipes. I'm getting distracted.
Yes, there is a problem.
We are
here.
getting distracted. So this one,
Where's
creating
the
this
image?
cheesecake is like building a delicate emotional skyscraper. Tip. Cold hands make perfect pastry, warm hands make, well,
Well,
let's
no.
not discuss that
Step zero.
disaster. Oh, we've gone to step 0. So this is a recipe app.
Yeah, clearly.
You might not be able to tell from looking at it. I think we have something that is full of dark patterns so far, but I am confident we can put more in.
But I think there is a balance to be had between the darkness, but also this is completely useless, but we have to try and hint that it's a little bit more useful.
Yeah, it is very useless. We've nailed that.
I think there might be a point in giving people like a fake sense of control.
Yes.
Yes.
So right now there's nothing you do to interact.
There's nothing.
But if you can do an action that then essentially is pointless.
Oh,
We were going to
Like
put those
that one,
arrows.
yeah.
we're going to put the arrows, but the arrows reset the onboarding that we haven't written yet.
We need the onboarding, that's
We need
true.
onboarding.
Yeah.
The onboarding is going to make this.
So it looks like you've got a lot of good ideas going. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Team Big Dude guys.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, excellent. Are you making good progress?
Oh yeah,
Progress.
exceptional progress. I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe the best.
So you had like a fairly ambitious approach to the challenge.
It's nothing to us.
Do you have anything you can show?
I've got a screen so far, and I can dismiss the start screen.
Yeah, I could see myself doing that for like hours.
Yeah, a couple of hours. Yeah. And so that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And also we have cursors.
Yeah.
The cursors have audio, but not between devices yet because we have not figured out cross-device audio.
What are the kind of challenges you've run into so far?
I think the hard part will be like there's a few libraries that we're using that we need to figure out whether they bundle well for use in Nordcraft. So yeah, I think that's probably the biggest hurdle I foresee.
It seems to be going well. You already got the button that can be clicked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I've got a
the heading
clickable
go
button.
away, so I mean the rest should probably be smooth sailing from here.
I mean, that was like the biggest hurdle, I
Yeah.
think. Like all of the the reactive synced audio, the real-time cursor synchronization. I think all that stuff's easy. It's just like, can we display a button?
Yeah.
Can the button be clicked?
Excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going.
As am I. As am I.
So, Team Underdog. How are things going over here?
I think we're doing well. We're splitting up the work well. Ludo over here is working on sort of the home page, the landing page to get users in. Over here, I'm working on the quiz itself. So we have the question, and we have a set of options, and you can click an option, and it'll give you a new question with a new set of options here. Down here, we have a get question number tone. Yeah. So given the tone given the number, we spit back out a tone here. And so we go from serious and critical and no nonsense to frivolous, intimate, personal, banal, academic, and eventually irrelevant and insignificant. So
as you progress, it gets okay.
Yes, it gets stranger.
And what kind of challenges have you run into so far?
Well, I just feel like I've gotten the API responses kind of down. One of the challenges I'm running into actually with the prompt is like it'll often generate very similar questions, and so and maybe that's the point. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. They're just getting the same question over and over again. But I do want to get more variation and sort of the questions and options there.
Well, it's going to be really cool to see where this ends up and how long people are going to end up wasting on this quiz.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, we're excited to see how silly and frivolous we can get this.
We'll keep it up.
All right.
Thank you.
Daniel, I don't think our idea is good.
I have never thought our idea was good, so we are now on the same page.
Wait, that's from the website.
Yeah.
That's from the website.
Oh, money.
It could be cooking.
I think they all should be a little bigger. I think they should take up more space.
I'm trying to make one from that. I'll show you.
I like this.
I'll show you a sneak peek. Like there's gonna be, although you can never finish it, there's gonna be like a little like hidden button, which takes us to our result. There you go.
Like, but you can't actually get there.
You can't actually get there unless you're Parker and I.
How to browse, these are already here. How to click buttons. Position your cursor over a button. And press down on your mouse or trackpad. The button will respond to your click. The button is try clicking. It might be useful just because...
Shall I make a fake search bar?
Yes! That's so good.
Have you gotten it working with anything? Like if you just
Yeah, it works
toss
locally. It did work on Toddle at some point. I'm not tripping, so I'm very confused.
Yeah, what changed? Because were we getting audio, or did I have a separate local tab?
Oh,
You had a separate tab of audio.
We're cooked, dude.
No, we can figure this out. This is not the worst.
Okay, wait, hear me out.
We run 2 tabs.
We just run 2 tabs.
Excellent. Using a search bar. And then get started, and then someone's putting a search bar in which won't do anything.
Fake.
Like, what's that expression?
You're doing it too good.
No, this is really shit, Jason.
Like, yeah, I know, it's hurting my soul, which I think means you met the brief, but...
Oh, because we met the brief.
How many points do we get for that?
We get a lot of points for
-5 because you made me sad.
Our souls are tarnished forever, but we are hitting the brief.
Dude, this is so obnoxious, actually. But it goes from processing, analyzing, considering, and like it's just gonna keep going. It's like actually just. Does it get like weird? Yeah, it'll get weird. Look at how many like. It's so nested. Like sleep for 100 seconds, 1,000. Sleep for a second. Sleep for a second. Oh my god, this is ridiculous.
So what are you working on right now?
So, we have a cookie banner. And we need to read the cookie banner. When you click accept, it needs to redirect you to a cookie recipe.
Oof.
It's a good feature, right?
Yeah.
And now obviously we have our little recipe step here.
Sign of sausage, good.
Medical physical musings on meat preparation.
Okay.
Sausage isn't just protein, it's a metaphor.
What I especially like about this is that it appears to have no UI other than just looking at more things.
No UI. And we've deliberately made it impossible to escape from the recipe once you're in it.
Good.
It then goes randomly through the steps. You do have the option to click back and forward, but again, it takes you to a random slide.
Oh, Jesus.
Rather than anyone in particular.
Yeah, I think you're both doing a great job. I'm excited to see what you come up with in the next 34 minutes.
Don't say that.
Wait, let's do it.
34 minutes.
Let's do it.
Okay, I need to focus. I actually do need to focus this time.
What's between you and the finish line here?
We're in a place where it's like we have something that works outside of Nordcraft, and we're trying to make external modules work well with kind of managing the state that's within JavaScript and other modules and syncing that up with the state and getting that to display properly.
Yeah, so the event emission seems to be like that's a fairly common pattern that I'm used to working a little smoother. And then also we've thrown away a bunch of the CSS, and it's different between the editor and the render of it. So we got to work out
who's correct.
Who's wrong?
Which one of you? Which one of you is lying?
I guarantee I can throw out the computer at the end of the day, and she cannot throw me out. So we're gonna figure it out.
What's going on? How you doing?
Good. I think we've got something that is, well, obnoxious.
I'm seeing a lot of chaos right now.
There's a lot of chaos.
This is good. I do like that you've sort of gone bespoke, like each of these has a bit of personality.
Yeah.
That's good. So what's between you and finish line?
Honestly, just he's working on some styles here, and then get the final pieces together. We want to throw in a little Easter egg, so
nice.
Yeah, I think that's a good.
So you're just kind of coasting right
Yeah,
now. You feel like you're there?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
good work.
Like very impressed. We're essentially just fixing the styling, as Parker said, and making sure it's like unanimous across the application.
All right, well, good luck. I'm excited to see the final product.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Amazing. Thank you, Jason.
You wanted the ingredient images and anything else, or just that?
Just the ingredients.
Just the images.
Just
you want the name?
sorry, just the images. Don't care.
Okay.
Don't care.
So if you click.
Okay, so could we just create a cursor that doesn't have that those positioning concepts in there?
I'm doing something else. Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
I wanna send your whole project to the guy who worked on our animation editor.
Yes.
It's just like this is how far. This is the new frontiers of web development. We're breaking.
Do document query select all image. See where they are. Actually, the $sign works.
What?
Just $sign. Believe it or not, $.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yes. And
Okay,
$, $.
Stop, Faffin, we've got 5 minutes.
Look, here they are.
But where?
You hover over them and they will display.
Where though? Where are
One
they?
is here.
We can play with it. We only have 4 minutes. So, no, let's just make sure that actually works though.
Top 88%.
Oh, look. Why is that 8, 9, 7? Oh, I ruined my thingy. Right, hang on.
I'm down.
I don't know what else we can do at this point.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. I don't think we get that much value out of.
Set repeat here.
Wait, what? Yeah, but it's still gonna move. I say merge it. We got the new one. We have 5 seconds.
There's just a few.
Why are you slow? We gotta merge it. Ship it.
Exactly.
We've done it. We did it.
Okay.
All right, everyone.
Henry, you need to stop.
Stop!
How's everybody feeling? You survived. You're here. I see at least 50% of you are smiling, and I'm taking that as a win. I was peeking over shoulders the whole time. I got a couple sneak peeks, but I cannot wait to see how all of this came together. Anybody want to volunteer to go first?
I'll go first.
Gotcha.
Right,
there you go. There we go. Get on up here.
Sweet. All right, so this is our deliverable here. We're seeking to answer the age-old question for our users. Which web dev framework are you? You can just go ahead and get started by pressing the big bouncing button, and it's going to load for a second. And we get an initial question here. You're a development hurricane blowing through projects like they're made of code snippets and half-baked ideas. Which framework do you want to ride into battle with, prioritizing speed and efficiency? Any
Vanilla.
answers? Vanilla, all right, I heard vanilla. So now it'll process your answer, analyze it, consider it, interpolate it, and then extrapolate it before loading.
Excellent.
Move on to the next question. So yeah, you just go through these questions. You see the progress bar at the top and you think, okay, I'm almost there, almost to the answer here. All right, okay, now the progress bar is full. But once we wait for one last loading state, okay, we're still almost done. All right, so we're still compiling our inner framework. If we hit continue, yeah, there's more questions. Okay, click another question. Oh man, it's got the same loading state. This looks like it's not going anywhere fast. Maybe if we answer a couple more questions. But you're not gonna leave because at this point you're like, I'm already 7 questions deep. I've already been here 5 minutes. But you might start clicking around the application and all of a sudden if you click just right there, if you were a web dev framework, you would be Nordcraft.
You may now begin development.
You may now begin development.
Nicely done.
Yes,
Nicely
all right, and that's the gist of it. And then just a little bit about the technology. So all the front end stuff is on Nordcraft, and the back end is hosted on Cloudflare Workers, and we're just using a simple binding to the Cloudflare Workers AI to prompt AI and get these answers as JSON before we send it back via the Nordcraft APIs. There's just sort of one route here. This is the Hano on Cloudflare Workers, and it's hitting this questions route where it's gonna grab the question number from the route here. It's gonna prompt the AI with that, and you can see here that we have a list of a bunch of words that induce tone into the prompt in the questions, and then we have a bunch of words here that are reasons to pick a framework, and so that dictates what the answers in the questions are.
The idea with the UI was to make it kind of as simple as possible. Oftentimes when you click on these personality quizzes, it's either by mistake or because a friend prompted you to, and they're kind of janky in a way. So the idea was to even keep users on this homepage, and hence the DVD style animations when you kind of go AFK and the DVD logo starts going around. But yeah, no, Andreas in the demo he showed us kind of recently implemented animations on Nordcraft, and so I played a lot with this, maybe a little too much, and it was very intuitive, setting keyframes and getting these logos to move around. So I definitely recommend it. Yeah, it's a good time.
Nice, great work.
Sweet. Yeah, I mean, I'll say Cloudflare got us spun up with AI and backend really quickly, and we're really happy that the AI was giving us the responses that we kind of wanted during the demo. It's always kind of a question there, so we had some retry logic in there to make that work, and it worked well. So.
Our project was basically, the best part of being online is hanging out with your friends. So we built the cursor cavern, which at first glance seems like maybe you're just alone out there on the open web. Oh. And
Hello?
it seems like maybe my friend's over here a little bit.
Hello?
We didn't quite complete it. We had the idea that when you find each other, you have to huddle together for warmth, and if anything changes to make it so you're not huddling together, your cursors together for warmth, you die.
Immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah, so if you maybe tabbed out, your friend just dies alone, dude. That's show business. And that's what it's like out there. We live in a society, dude.
Yeah.
So,
First of all, it's hard to find your people. You saw how hard that was.
But now look at us, chilling together
Buddy.
nicely.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed the audio is also proximity based. So if I move my cursor far away from Jacky's,
I can't hear it. Hello? Hello?
but as I get closer, it's possible to hear him again.
Yeah. We use this really fun library called Perfect Cursors to interpolate cursor positions. But for the actual audio, we use WebRTC, and then we have like a signaling server that we hosted on Replit. Yeah, so we use WebSockets for all the state signaling stuff, WebRTC for the audio, and all the fun front-end rendering stuff is in Nordcraft. We use a lot of external libraries, and getting them to bundle and work properly inside Nordcraft was quite a journey. And so, yeah, we used Pure.js for doing all the WebRTC stuff. River is just like a service abstraction. It's just kind of like TRPC. And then here's all the fun distance calculation stuff. Fun fact, we plotted this in Desmos to figure out what a fun-looking power curve drop-off to figure out what's a realistic way for audio to drop off was. And I think Henry's eyes glazed over as soon as I talked about that. So.
As soon as I saw that map, my eyes glazed over too.
Oh, great, excellent.
Getting into playing around with some of the visual stuff, like building a cursor component that has like an SVG and an audio tag included. Was kind of a fun one, including like some of the interesting aspects of like SVG. Like everything is attribute set, so like even the path data is just like there in the UI, which is quite interesting.
So were you building these like path by path?
Yeah, I just
wrote the
straight off
SVG
the
by
dome. And then we built a service. This is the most code that I wrote on this project. Which this console log is because I couldn't figure out whether or not it was working or not, as most console logs are. And then this was me running play. I had to look up, by the way, you could do .play on an audio file to play it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So good.
All things considered within like the time frame, like we got a lot done. A lot of things were really experimental going in.
Everyone has such ridiculously busy lives, and eating is incredibly important. So I would like to introduce to you the most incredible, newest recipe site on the World Wide Web. This is quickrecipes.co. Here it is.
Hi, and welcome to quickrecipes.co. At quickrecipes.co, we are committed to you creating your culinary creations quickly and easily with the use of our website. Now, we know it can be overwhelming, so please take the time to go through the onboarding schedule to understand how to use the website. Good luck. Hi, and welcome to Quick Recipes.
Oh God, it keeps going.
Recipes.co.
We decided to make the most inaccessible website possible. This search button is a div. I want you to know.
But you can
These
click
links-
help. You can click help though, just in case.
And welcome.
Now the good news is, if you need to do any searching on this website, you can do that. But at that point, we actually do need you to accept cookies. I don't have time for that. I'm just going to leave the. Oh, you can't leave the page. We added event listener to stop people from being able to easily leave. But we actually do have a recipe which you can view. And now, but we didn't want to give users the ability to control what step they saw of the recipe, and we didn't really want them to be able to get directly to the ingredients. So here's the sample step in a recipe. Coconut rum, ice, a blender isn't just kitchen equipment. This drink offers 320 calories of pure... I'm sorry, it's really difficult to focus But the thing is, it's a quick recipe, which means faster than ever before, you can find yourself delayed. We did give the user the ability to click back and forward, but they actually do the same thing, which is that they take you to a random step in the recipe. Now, the tech stack here, you might think that this entire website might just happen, but in fact it took a lot of work, skill, and effort to create a website as incredible as this. So we have deployed this. We have a back end. We fetch real recipes from the Spoonacular API, which gives us real recipes, images, and steps, and then we hit an AI endpoint. Actually, Anthropic we use to obscure all that information as much as possible and hide it from the user. We pull down random images from Unsplash, also using their API. The whole thing is wrapped up in a Nuxt backend. So we are able to...
We knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So we do some prompting, we get some data back, we map everything together. We've hosted that on fly.io. That was pretty straightforward to get going. And then Nordcraft is what is responsible for all of the joy that the front end offers. And our aim here is really to keep users on the site as long as possible without giving them anything of value. And I think we can all say we've achieved that.
Yeah, the recipe site was so funny. Holy smokes. Every single aspect of that was like comedic perfection.
Yeah. I think it was really fun to just hang out with the crew and everybody who came along. It does not feel like we literally just met yesterday, so it was really fun to be able to hang out like that today.
The paradigm of using node-based programming in front-end web development is so interesting that I thought that was like when we were actually in the formula editor, that was a blast. That is such a cool way of approaching data processing.
There's definitely a learning curve to using Nordcraft, but I do appreciate that there is always an escape hatch in terms of there isn't the necessary right abstraction to do things. Then you can always escape out into JavaScript if you need to. And I think that flexibility, especially in a super time crunch period, helped us a lot.
Given the limited time we had sort of planning, we were able to split up our tasks accordingly, knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we delivered a good chunk of what we had in mind, so very proud of that.
Looking at everyone's demo, I was surprised at how many different directions people went in terms of sort of their approaches or their tech stack or the way they brought in functionality from JavaScript. Yeah, it was really interesting to see all the different directions today.
I went from dejection to some degree of enthusiasm throughout the day. But there was so much to struggle with. CSS that didn't work. Apparently the problem was my knowledge of CSS, but I still find that a problem with CSS. APIs that were slow. Also apparently that was related to my code, but I'm noticing some themes.
All of the projects, I think, were surprises, all in very positive ways. How different they all were, how creative they were. They all took it in very different directions.
One of my favorite things to do is to have people use a tool in a way it's not intended to be used, right? And I think that makes for really fun challenges. So trying to intentionally violate expectations in a way that's not frustrating, but that's more delightful, is a blast, and everybody absolutely delivered on that. So, what's your team name?
Team Squad Boys.
Squad Boys up.
Gang.
I'm just standing here with you. What's happened?
The power went out, I think.
We don't. Oh, I'm right in your... Just, it's all fine, right?
That it was very intuitive.
What is that? What is that even doing? I'm not tall enough to be part of this group. I'm I feel like a kid coming to the counter, what's up? What are you cooking?